The following podcast is considered for a mature audience and should only be listened to by an adult. If you're not an adult, please go and get an adult so that you can watch them as they try to awkwardly explain all of the dumb shit that we're about to say. Listener discretion is advised.
And now, coming to you live from the tri-state area and San Francisco, California, it's the best part of Wednesday, Waffle Box, with your hosts, Mike Fish and Kush Hayes.
Ooh, welcome to Waffle Box, a podcast where we talk about anything, everything, and nothing all at the same time. Coming up on episode 92, this Dutchman needs to find a new hobby. A new type of meatball that's sweeping the nation. Tetris has a movie. That sounds fun. And much, much more. I am Mike Fish, and I am joined, as always, by the main man in San Fran. It's Mr. Kush.
What's good, y'all? Kush Hayes here, coming to you with the newest edition of the Waffle Box. Is the original Waffle Box. You accept no substitutes because it is the best part of Wednesdays. Mike Fish, we are just coming off a WrestleMania weekend. Great goddamn time, dude. What are short thoughts?
Short thoughts. Night one, très bien. Night two, that's my thoughts. But there you go.
I gotta say, would have liked to have taken that women's championship match, Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair, just pull it out of Saturday, insert it anywhere into Sunday, and then scrap the rest of that card, because all of Sunday, each match was better than the next. The WrestleMania Night 2 progressively got better. You normally have that match before the main event where you're like, we need to keep the show going, but people gotta pee, so put that one match on as a buffer. And we didn't even get that this year. Like they just gave people a significant amount of time to do what they had to do in between Hell in a Cell and the main event. And goddamn, the main event, I haven't watched WrestleMania since 2019. I haven't watched really anything WWE aside of that Royal Rumble you asked me to watch, like, in 3 years. And that WrestleMania event, Cody Rhodes versus the champion Roman Reigns, that had a big match feel to it. It was exciting, and I was happy to see Roman Reigns being the dominant position. And I like seeing Cody, despite the fact that I think he's still a heel. It was, yeah, top to bottom, night two, great event.
Well, we will agree to disagree, but for more talky on WrestleMania, you lucky little duckies, if you check out our feed, as you're hearing this, you should be able to find a bonus episode waiting for you where we go in depth.
Bonus!
We get the shovel and dig deep into WrestleMania. Maybe not too deep, because there's like 16 matches. We didn't go too deep. But yeah, you get the gist of it. It's fun time. We get to talk about Snoop Dogg, Shane McMahon's epic return to do 2 laps of the ring before he exits stage left, and so much more. But other than that, other than WrestleMania, it feels like it's been like 3 weeks since I've spoken to you. It's been a while. How you been? So much has happened in my life.
I've been doing all right, man. And like, I just finished my regular season stint with the Golden State Warriors.
I saw you on TV. I saw you.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a good year. Playoffs, because we're not in first place, because we are not a guarantee, and because despite where we are recording this and where we are releasing this, I mean, the Warriors could lose their playoff spot. It lose the entire thing entirely. Still, it's like that. That's how close this game is. So we'll see what our post-season experience is like. Could be one round, could be nothing at all, could go all the way Cinderella story. But
well, for the sake of your pocket and your wallet, I hope they go all the way, my friend.
Me too. It's the ultimate gambling, Mike Fish. Oh my god.
I mean, I know I'm technically a Brooklyn Nets fan, but
So
I mean, they could go all the way to, and they could lose to the Golden State Warriors, right? That's how that works.
They absolutely could. However, we start baseball this Friday. Home opener: San Francisco Giants versus the visiting Kansas City Royals, and I can't wait to be a part of that 3-day series. So
Because you did famously open up the season on the road to the New York Yankees.
Yeah, that was a tough series. That was a tough series for the boys. Yankees took it. If you couldn't tell where I was going with that, cats and kittens. But as of this recording, we're at 500, so it's 159 more games to go.
With the way the baseball season works, by the time we record this and people hear it, they could have played like 6 more games. So because like as of right now, the last time that the Yankees played, as of this recording, was Monday, where they just destroyed Philadelphia, which is always nice. It's always nice to see. Hit suit. Boo. Oh, let me tell you, right before we get into the meat and potatoes, right? Let me well, let's check in real quick. Obviously, it's Mike Fish, Kush Hayes, producer Lathan. How you doing, my man?
Good evening, fellas. I just want to give a quick shout out to the Lathan Nation. I appreciate your support.
The Lathan, look at that. I remember you coined that phrase. It's your fault, Kush. The Lathan Nation is getting so. The Lathan, is that like your fan group? Is that your little posse?
Yeah, that's what my fans call themselves. They're kind of like Swifties, only 40 years older and 80 pounds heavier.
Nice. I mean, everyone, there's someone out there for everyone.
I guess.
My
bad. I forgive me for trying to give our young producer a compliment, and it just went to his head. Oh my! Much like Nathan Shelby in that TV show about the footballers.
Before you know it, there'll be merch. Lathan Nation.
Yeah.
Before we get into the head top stories, let me tell you. So last weekend, right?
So I'm sorry, man. I hate to interrupt you. My earbuds have only been going in and out since we started recording. I'm trying to play along here.
Uh-oh. Tech issues. Let
me just go to the main line. This isn't working.
Oh, he's wiring himself in, ladies and gents.
Yeah.
Did you charge them? I charged mine because I was a responsible podcaster. To be fair, he's probably not even hearing me right now.
Not much of it, no.
No.
Okay. I would like to be offended, but you keep cutting in and out.
Could have said anything. Could have said anything.
Put you there.
Go on, hit the zoom button, switch over. See, now he's wired in. You won't be able to do any activities while you're recording. You're stuck.
I'll make it work. I'm only hearing you in my left ear, but that's all right.
Well, one ear is better than none.
That's
so
right.
Yeah, so last weekend, right? Last weekend, the little lady in their life, she was away with her sisters, and so I was dog sitting.
Boys' night out.
So I was, I had a couple of boys' nights out, but ultimately I was looking after the dogs. My whole sole job was to make sure that none of the dogs died.
Good.
And
all right. How'd you do?
Well, technically I succeeded. No dogs died under my watch. However, turns out I was pretty close to failing that mission.
Oh no! I wanted to say you killed it, but or maybe you
apparently the dogs got a little bit sicky-icky under my watch, and you'll be hilarious. So on Saturday, a buddy of mine came over. We're chilling out. We're having a couple of beers. Then we take a trip across town. We go to see an independent wrestling show. Shout out to Pro Wrestling Magic.
Nice.
And then after that, we went to a local watering spot. Had a couple of more beers. Came back to my place. Had a couple of more beers. there was lots of beer consumption during this day, right?
All right.
So we eventually go to bed, and you already know that you've had too much to drink when you're enjoying your evening, and then literally the next thing you know, you're waking up on the couch and you're like, oh, I just passed out. So I'll go to bed, and I wake up around 7 o'clock in the morning, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of the dogs is like frantically walking, like pacing around my bed and trying to wake me up. And she's like panting. So I'm like, oh, maybe I forgot to fill up the water bowl. So maybe she's just really thirsty. Let me just fix this situation, right? I'll go out, put the water in, she'll drink, I'll go back to bed.
Mm-hmm.
As I leave the bedroom and walk into the living area, there is diarrhea everywhere. And I'm talking everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Which it's not nice to find at the best of times. But when you're really hungover, that's horrible. It's in the rug, everything. It took me like 3 hours to clean. Which I was like,
what labor involved in it getting it clean to your satisfaction after those 3 hours?
So, well, the wooden floor is easy. Just wipe, Clorox, maybe a bit of steam cleaning.
Okay.
We got a little steamer, so that's fine. But the rug, so I had to like get some paper towel and scoop out what I could scoop out.
Mm-hmm.
And then dish soap, cloth, scrub.
Mm-hmm.
And then vacuum it to dry it out a little bit. And then some more scrub.
Mm-hmm.
And then just because sometimes where like you're paranoid and you're like, I think I can still see something, but no one else can. But you're like, no, there's definitely still something there.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to go to the local grocery store, pick up some carpet cleaner stuff, and I scrub, put some, and then eventually it was like, okay, I can't see anymore. So that was like, oh, thank God.
Mm-hmm.
Next morning at 6 o'clock, the other dog is now starting to act sketchy. And I'm like, please no. So I walk out into the living room and there's more diarrhea.
Mm-hmm.
But it's smaller. So it's like, it was the little dog this time. They're nothing. They were eating whatever they normally eat.
Mm-hmm.
But
something is making them sick.
Yes, I don't know whether they picked up something that I was eating without me noticing, or when we was out for a walk, maybe they ate something off the floor. I don't know what it was, but it's been a thing. So luckily, the big dog went back home, and apparently she's fine. But the little dog, little Oreo, my little baby, it was like 3 days before she was okay. Like literally 3 back-to-back nights. Like she would wake up in the night, I'd have to take her outside like on the hour or every 2 hours. So I hardly slept for 3 days. And then I had to go to the vets and spend ridiculous amounts of money on this medication or whatever. Whatever. She's fine now.
Yeah,
that's been my week.
I wouldn't know how to take care of a dog. I've been entrusted a few times to take care of my cousin's cat while house sitting.
Well, cats, you can't look after a cat. They're rogue.
No, you still have to fill up the water dish and the food bowl and all that. But like, I would give it treats, and I didn't know that you weren't supposed to give it like more than just like one treat a day. So like, I'd be like, hey, we did that thing. Have a treat, and I'd be like, thank you, a treat. And then I'd be like, it'd do something also amazing, and I'd be like, hey, have another treat. I'm like, oh, thank you. I'll have all the treat again. And then, like, an hour later, like, hey, you did another amazing thing. Like, I love cats. And like, I'll absolutely, now I'm going to vomit. Blah! Not only will I not vomit on the hardwood floor, but I'm going to specifically vomit on this carpet here. Oh, by the way, when I do want to vomit on the hardwood floor, if you get a little paper towel under there, I'm just going to immediately run to the carpet. Like, a few times I was able to actually, like, never put the two and two together. Like, I'm feeding it too many treats. that's why it's getting sick. Like I don't pretend to understand why, but that's definitely what's happening here. But like if I try to get a paper towel right under that sucker, like it's doing the it's doing the dry heaves, not to get any more graphic. But then it'd be like, no, stupid, I'm not gonna why would I vomit on that? No, now I have to go over to the carpet here. Thank you. And so.
And then after it vomits, you're like, oh, have another treat. You feel bad. I feel bad.
I may have done that once because I just didn't know any better. But after a while, I was like, oh, it's the treats. Okay.
Should have slipped it a breath mint. That might have helped.
Ooh, that's a whole other thing. Yeah.
Genius. So yeah, pets. What are they like? But yes,
pets are awful. Why
all the pets. No animals were harmed during these stories on Waffle Box, which is always nice. Anyway, let's crack on with the snooze. The snooze with the news. And let's talk about some news. Hit the music. Mr. Lathan.
It's now time for this week's top stories.
First story this week, we head over to many parts of the world, but we start off in the Netherlands because this guy gets about in more ways than one. So I don't know if you've heard about this fella, Jonathan Jacob Meyer, who is a Dutch musician. And this is okay. You know this story is going to be good when this is his description. A Dutch musician and prolific sperm donor. Like, I wonder if he has that on his business card. So this guy is being sued by Dutch Donorkind Foundation because he is being blamed for increasing the risk of incest. Dun, dun, dun. Now you're thinking, how many times does a prolific sperm donor donate sperm, you may wonder. So this fella has apparently fathered 550 children.
Yep. Fuck this guy. He's lucky he's only getting sued.
Honestly. Indeed. He's only 41.
Only 41.
550 kids.
550 kids! Do you remember the Octomom? She must feel like a fucking amateur.
Yeah. She needs to step up her game. Although she had 8 at the same time, which is pretty impressive. So, you know.
Physically
shout out to Octomom.
On that one situation. Yeah, fuck this fucking guy. I saw a headline. I did a skim through. I didn't realize he was a musician. This actually makes a lot more sense. But fuck you, dude. Get a real job. And now you're going to be sued. Like, the world's already overpopulated. Also, parents, why don't you just start adopting? Fuck you for being so selfish. Just start adopting. Yeah, we're supposed to be making jokes out of this, but this is a terrible story. And fuck this guy and everybody involved in it. Yeah,
it's a bizarre story. So for those that aren't up on sperm donor laws or rules, under Dutch guidelines, donors are not allowed to father more than 25 children, or
that's way too much too.
Impregnate more than 12 women to prevent inbreeding. Too. So I guess the 25 children is because, hey, sometimes maybe you get twins, so you can have 12 women, and that's cut off.
Is that specifically the Dutch law, or is that
it's universal? Dutch guidelines? Yeah,
that's Dutch guidelines. Yeah, the Netherlands is so small; that number should be way fewer. You know, like even in the United States, that number should be way fewer. That's fucking ridiculous.
But yeah, so you're only allowed to father 25 children, but in 2017, this fellow was blacklisted. Imagine being blacklisted from a sperm donor, that donor bank. Jesus. After he was found to have fathered 102 children in the Netherlands alone.
Oh, he went to another country?
Oh, yeah, he did. So he's gone, he lives now in Kenya and has continued to donate sperm outside the Netherlands, including in Denmark and the Ukraine. And so the quotes from this is like it's insane, right?
I
So
think you might have to blur these out for YouTube monetization, but yeah, no, fuck this guy. Oh my god.
so Dutch Donorkind Foundation, which is all people that's bringing a civil lawsuit against him. Quote is just saying, "We are taking action against this man because the government is doing nothing. He has a global reach via the internet, as does everyone, to be fair. But this is the bizarre bit. And he does business with large international sperm banks. So he's got like he's working off
Got
like
multiple accounts. Yeah.
he's like Costco. That may
I mean, that's a terrible. Yeah, that's probably an apt but terrible description. Yeah, this person you're a terrible person. I've forgotten your name, and you should be lucky that I've forgotten your name. You're a terrible person.
Jonathan Jacob Meyer, JJM.
JJM, I only wish the worst for you in this situation, sir. So go fuck yourself. And yeah, blowing out the pilot light is also an option.
Lastly, so the suit was also brought by a Dutch woman who gave birth to one of Meyer's kids in 2018, who was quoted as saying, "If I'd have known he had already fathered more than 100 children, I would never have chosen his donor," which is a fair point. But he was quoted as saying, and I'm just going to do this accent because even though this is not a Dutch accent, this is definitely how he sounds, accent. Right? No, it's not going to be a Dutch accent, but this is just giving like his way he speaks. I bet he's like,
cheer me up still.
It's like, "I like to see that there are children of mine all over the world." I bet he speaks like that, like he's all like lofty and like, "I just want to bring love, man. Children are our future," and he's definitely gonna be like.
He's a hippie who's not getting laid. Apparently, that's
This fella
a 3-time loser.
Is definitely gonna be locking himself in a compound, and there will be police, and there's gonna be a shootout, and there's gonna be a Netflix documentary about it.
He's a musician who can't get laid. Like he could be just fathering these children on the side, like just night after night, club after club, like a regular degenerate dirtbag. But no, he had to go through the whole, I don't know, rigmarole and sperm bank circuit. So yeah.
I actually looked it up. Like I don't understand, because on average, like how much sperm donors get for each donor. It's not that much.
It's like $25, I think.
Yeah, so it's not like he's doing this.
It's not paying the rent.
Yeah, it's bizarre way to live your life, Jonathan Jacob Meyer. Let's get a hobby, take up tennis or something. In other news, we might be able to, do you remember when KFC got in trouble way back in the day for like when people were like, is this chicken really chicken?
No, I mean, that's been going on forever, but yes.
Yeah. So we may have finally reached the apex of food now. Scientists have now decided they can create meat just from DNA strands, right? And they have decided, in true Jurassic Park style, you know what? Let's bring back an extinct animal and let's make some dinner out of that bad boy. So scientists over in Australia, those wacky Australians,
they're all the way down,
have created a meatball made exclusively from recreated flesh from a woolly mammoth. That's exciting. The mammoth's neck was produced by an Australian company called VOW, V-O-W, which is aiming to use cells from unconventional species to create new kinds of meat.
Okay.
VOW's project doesn't involve the slaughter of animals, obviously, because they're extinct. Duh. The professor said the initial idea was to produce dodo meat but the required DNA sequences didn't exist. Which it's
Wait, so they're bringing back extinct animals and they chose the woolly mammoth? Fuck that! The next time that I go to Applebee's, I want to be able to order a T-Rex.
I mean, it could happen pretty soon, Lathan. Like, that's not out of reach right now.
Imagine that. Oh yeah, I love the T-Rex leg, and it just takes.
It probably wouldn't be like a Flintstone size
Oh,
portion, but yeah, you could still probably get some T-Rex meat in the next 10 years because of this.
come on! And then like you do to go through the drive-through, and then they bring it out and they put it in your car, and the car tips over comedically.
You definitely don't want your car tipping over, bro.
Flintstones.
Come on, bro. You don't want you.
So you're probably wondering, dear listeners, well, what does a woolly mammoth taste like?
I am actually wondering myself. Yes,
Well,
I would like some.
despite the work which has gone into this, nobody has yet had the honor of being the first person to eat the woolly mammoth meatball. Quote, "We haven't seen this protein in thousands of years," said Professor Wolf Tang. "So we have no idea how our immune system would react to it when we eat it. But if we did it again, we could certainly do it in a way that would make it more palatable to regulatory bodies." So they went through all this trouble to recreate the woolly mammoth, made a meatball out of it, and then was like, "You're going to eat it?" It's like, fuck that, it might kill me. What the fuck was the point?
What's weird about that is, so this is what they think the woolly mammoth might have tasted like, but they haven't even tested it with like you feed it to a lab rat, obviously, and see what happens there. You feed it to a canary or whatever, but they haven't even done that because probably protocols, or I want to say this was illegally done if I read the right article or wrong article.
Oh, I don't think it was illegally done. That would be pretty mad. But
It's
like,
already mad that they went like, let's make woolly mammoth meat, and then like, yeah, that's funny.
well, they wouldn't do dodo. But if their whole idea is to, to just to reduce the slaughter of animals and all that nonsense, why not take the DNA sequencing from animals that we already eat and just do that?
I mean,
Because then we know we can eat that.
In theory, we'll be able to eat that, but this is still like, this is cloning. This isn't perfect science. Well, this is still all theory. Okay, even with what they do produce, like if they tried to reproduce a chicken, they've produced a sheep, but we don't even know that we could eat that sheep. However, if this is 100% perfect, and it still is not, it won't be for a while. What's an animal you want to eat, Mike Fish, that is not on the menu right now? Whether it's currently existing, whether it's on the endangered species list, whether it's been extinct for millennia. What is an animal you would like to feast on?
Sloth.
Ooh. Well, is that I guess, I mean, okay. Why?
I don't know, because normally when you get like animals that work a lot, the meat can become very, what's the word? Gamey, yeah, right. Because so apparently, well, not that I've
Too muscular.
consumed human flesh, but apparently that's non-surprisingly that's what human meat tastes like. It's very gamey because it's working out a lot. But you imagine a sloth.
I've never before, but
They're like going so slow, like that meat. I reckon that's gotta be good. But it's so cute. I wouldn't want to eat a sloth. I'd feel bad. But if we're talking about this mad cat world where anything's off on the table, sloth. Give me that sloth. Give me a nice sloth steak or sloth chili.
I think you want to just eat some Kobe beef, and let me explain why. Because Kobe beef is just cow. It's just any other cow you've ever met before, except these cows spend their entire life drinking beer and getting belly massages. I don't know if that's for 5 years or for 10 years or however long, but their entire lifespan on that ranch is drinking beer and getting belly massages. So it is the tenderest, tastiest meat you've ever had. I've had the privilege of eating Kobe beef one time, melted in my mouth. Wish I could have had more, but there it was. It's rare and it's very expensive. So I if you can, I suggest you find some Kobe beef and cook that, because I think that'll be better than an actual sloth.
Oh
A
no!
sloth
If
is
I get
lazy.
Kobe beef, I'm not trusting myself to cook that. I want a professional to cook that shit.
Well, you'll find yourself a professional to cook it then.
All right, Will, you watch me.
I will. And then I'll be like, can I have some too? Why am I in New
Maybe, or
Jersey? I
maybe
don't know.
I'll just start the Kobe beef spa, where it's just you can just come along, you pay your entrance fee, and you just drink beer and get belly rubs all day.
Well, are we being turned into Kobe beef?
Maybe,
Oh, plot twist.
yeah. But no, that sounds like a pleasurable afternoon, though. Going somewhere, drinking beer, and just having someone rub your belly.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'd extend it on, just a regular, just having like a
Some
nice foot
lucky
massage or
cows.
something while I'm
Some lucky
having a
cows.
beer. Yeah, I want to be a Kobe beef cow. Sons of bitches. So yeah, there you go. If someone offers you a woolly mammoth meatball, probably best not to try it. But
Like this can lead to eating a T-Rex. This can lead to trying out an elephant, a hippopotamus, a California condor, things that are endangered or things that don't exist anymore. It's the potential is exciting. The execution so far is disappointing. And why are you telling us about this if it ain't ready yet?
well, do you know what we are getting closer to now? The old since it is First Contact Day, April 5th.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Here's the link. We're getting close to the old replicators where you can just walk up to the wall and go, boop, 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 boop. I'll have a sloth burger, please. Boop, 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 boop. And it'll go,
Yeah, why not?
why don't you just eat Kobe beef? Fuck you, I want my sloth.
If you want a sloth, the computer won't give you that attitude, or better not give you that attitude. No.
Well, I'll reboot it. I'll unplug it. Give me fucking attitude. Oh, hopefully in my lifetime. First Contact was 2063, so that's 40 years. I should still be alive in 40 years.
Yeah, best case scenario.
Well, they didn't have the replicators in 2063. They just had that crazy guy in the field.
Everything's pretty analog still in 2063 in Star Trek First Contact, ironically.
Great fucking movie, though. Great.
Good times. Yeah. I saw it in the theater a few times.
Might watch that tomorrow. Anyway, let's move on. Speaking of people like Zephram Cochrane, I had to write that down because I'm not going to remember that name. He achieved some stuff in his lifetime. So let's talk about some more people achieving things in a lifetime in this week's segment that we like to call the Dumb World Record
woo, woo, woo.
of the week.
Why?
Why? Why would I? Why? Why?
Why? Why? Why? Why? Why would you want to do that?
Mike Fish, you have picked the bootiest shaking music for our segments, and thank you.
And so far, no copyright claims.
So far, so good. Thank you, Syrup Squad.
This week's Dumb World Record actually starts off with someone pretty damn smart, if you ask me. Oh. So you remember before when we were talking about all these Dumb World Records, and we was even talking about breaking our own Dumb World Records. Sometimes you have to have the extra expenses of flying someone from Guinness Book of World Records in to adjudicate your world record, and you have to get them flights, you have to put them up and all that bullshit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why not go to them to break the world record? Huh?
Okay. That's an option. That is
I mean,
also an option.
you're still spending money, but at least they're not getting it. I'm enjoying the flight. I'm
You're
enjoying
only
the hotel.
spending hotel and airfare on yourself. Yes, smart.
So,
Smart.
a pair of Harlem Globetrotters.
Oh,
If you're not familiar with the Harlem Globetrotters, they are a very fun basketball team who still haven't been allowed into the NBA, which is bullshit. They would run rings around them. Harlem Globetrotters players visited the Guinness World Records headquarters in London and broke a world record for the fastest time to bounce a ping pong ball into 5 cups.
okay. What was the time?
So the duo managed to bounce ping pong balls into 5 cups in only 2.18 seconds.
Damn, So he put his 5 cups, so 5 balls went into 5 cups. Wow.
Right?
Wow. That's hardcore.
Imagine playing beer pong with those two. You'd be blacked out within 30 minutes.
Right?
Dude, right? Right.
Incredible. So this actually, but
Goddamn Patriots.
we have to give a quick shout out though to a Waffle Box favorite of ours.
Oh.
Because these Harlem Globetrotters, they broke the previous record, which stood at 2.87 seconds.
David Rush.
Held by David Rush.
Wow.
Wow, indeed. He is probably... And Jonathan Hollywood Hannon, who broke this world record in 2021.
Fucking A. That's amazing. So, I mean, the Globetrotters are bigger than basketball, man. They're bigger than entertainment. They're not only patriots, but they're actually ambassadors to the world. Have you ever heard the story of where there's some civil war happening in South America? I'm sorry, I don't have the exact country versus country specs. I'm an ignorant North American
Venezuela.
like that. Maybe it might have been. However, someone from the U.S. Foreign Diplomat Department like, hey, Harlem Globetrotters, how'd you like to go to South America and stop war for a day? And they're like, yeah, sure. Why wouldn't we do that? And sure enough,
I mean, I was going to get my hair done, but
fire.
I can do that.
They seized fire for a whole day, and you had one country on one side of the arena and the other country on the other side of the arena, and everyone just had the greatest fucking time. And then, sure enough, after that, a full ceasefire happened. Like,
I fucking want to kill you, but that guy's spinning that ball on his finger. Look at that.
he's using a ladder. But no,
Wait, there was no water in that bucket. It was glitter all along. Those swines. But yeah, they didn't want to waste their time there though, but because they actually attempted a second world record. However, unfortunately, they did not break that one. They tried to break the world record for the quickest time to clear a game of Hungry Hippos.
oh, okay.
But unfortunately, they were not able to add a second title.
You're literally limited by that spring and gravity. There's nothing else you can do.
But because the Hungry Hippos, the problem with that is you're not too careful. The faster you go, you end up just breaking the game.
You can break the game, but you're also shaking the goddamn boards to the marbles.
And like the balls just flying off the table, and then you have to go.
Yeah.
Don't let the dog eat it.
I'm quite surprised you know what Triple H is. That's very good.
Who doesn't? If you don't know what Hungry Hippos is,
my bubble is the lower 48 United Continental States. So I'm amazed that Hungry Hippos made it to the UK.
And they had a long flight, so they were very hungry by the time they got to us. But I helped them out. Anyway, that wraps up the first half of this week's Waffle Box. Oh my god. So we're technically at 92.5. Still to come on this week's Waffle Box. We come back, obviously, with the middle of the show quiz. Kush is talking about the movie Tetris. And even though we did talk about its demise, it's what do they say? The rumors of my demise are hardly not true or something. What's the actual saying?
The rumors of my collapse is highly exaggerated.
Yes. Trapdoor segment is back, baby. And so much more. So smoke 'em if you got 'em. Go grab yourself a drink. We'll be right back after this short break.
Would you use a deodorant soap on parts like these? You would if it's Lever 2000, because Lever 2000's got the most effective skincare ingredients you can get in a deodorant soap. Lever 2000. It's best for your skin and all your 2000 parts.
It's now time for the middle of the show quiz.
Hey, welcome to Waffle Box episode 92. It's the middle of the show, so it's the perfect time, if you ask me, to play the middle of the show quiz, baby. As we did allude to in the first half, it is First Contact Day, April 5th, celebrating the day in which Zephram Cochrane made first contact between man and extraterrestrials. So that was my kind of inspiration behind the quiz, and so I was doing a little bit of research on this, and I thought, here's a little fun game. Like, what's your familiarity with Star Trek universe? Star Trek across the universe.
I've been exposed to Star Trek as long as I've been alive. When I was in my younger days, like teenage years and prior, not a fan. And it was probably just because Mom was a big fan of it. Anyways, we grew to appreciate Star Trek. We own all of the original series. We own, obviously, from the movies Part 2, Part 4, Part 6. We enjoy First Contact as well. But we haven't checked out any of the Paramount Plus series, but we have produced on the Microdose a series of official State of the Trek episodes starring Pro Wrestling Hall of Famer Jameel Hemphill and Star Trek fanatic. So no episode this year, though, kids, unfortunately.
But yeah, so through my research, what I did, put together a little quiz, is where I'm going to give you a name of something.
Okay.
And then you have to tell me whether what I just said is a planet from the Star Trek universe or a food additive.
Interesting.
Nice and
I like
simple.
this. I like this. I've seen other games played this way, but it's like, it's a person.
Trek or food.
I like
Trek
this.
or food.
I love this.
So 5 questions, five names, whatever it is. Let's see how Mr. Hayes gets on. So number 1. Alpha tocopherol. Alpha tocopherol.
He might be just mispronouncing it, but not a Star Trek planet.
Wait, so your answer is not a Star Trek planet?
Food additive? Was that my option? Oh, good.
It is a food additive. How am I supposed to pronounce it then, Miss Smarty Pants?
I don't know. It doesn't sound like a
Tocopherol.
Star Trek planet, though.
No. That's
Sounds
1.
like a chemical.
1 point to Mr. Hayes. Number 2. Mixtus. Spell Mixtus. Mixtus.
This should be a Star Trek planet, but I'm going to guess it's also a food additive. Oh, it's a planet.
Should have trusted your gut. It's a planet.
I should have. My bad.
Number 3. Olestra. 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 Olestra.
Olestra is a food additive, and I think some people have been sued over. Yeah.
Check out the big brain on bread. It does sound, to be fair, Olestra does sound like one of those pills that helps you with boners that you see advertised at like 3 a.m.
I think it's in potato chips and it
Doctor,
causes
you
diarrhea.
Described Olestra.
Or anal leakage.
But don't take Olestra if you're allergic to Olestra. I love that line. That line in those medicine commercials are hilarious. Oh, well, how am I supposed to know if I'm allergic to it if I can't say it? Anyway. Number 4. Mannitol. Mannitol. Mannitol.
That's an additive.
What he doesn't know about Star Trek, he knows about food additives. Mr. Haynes.
I know my chemicals.
Final one there, number 5. Endocrinous 5. Endocrinous 5. So ENDICRONIMAS B.
Well, I've already won the game, but I think this is a food additive also.
Oh, that's a food additive.
It's a moon. It's a moon. When you have a proper noun with a number, it's a moon.
But still, you got 3 out of 5.
You win.
Let's go. Let me scribble that. 3-2. Kush Hayes wins. Read it down. Well done. Well done. Ah, right. Now we're getting back in the weeds, baby. We're bringing it back. Even though we actually did the segment last week, it does feel like a return. It's like, oh, we're bringing it back, baby. So the trapdoor had its demise last week, where we finally reached the end of the alphabet, where we was dropping celebrities down the trapdoor. But now, as the summer months are fast approaching, unless you're in the southern hemisphere, and then enjoy winter, suckers. But people are going out more often, enjoying themselves, maybe coupling up. And you need some date ideas. Well, we are here to help you, our wonderful listeners, where we're going to tell you what not to do. So,
as a single man, I actually need a refresher on this. So thank you, Mike Fish, for bringing this to our attention.
Welcome. So trapdoor segment where I give Kush Hayes 4 ideas and he has to send 1 down, but make sure he shows the work in. But before I get too into the weeds of description, Lathan, goddammit, where is that music? Thank you very much. Yes, trapdoor, I'm going to give Kush Hayes 4 different date night activities that you can get up to, and he is going to tell you which one to stay clear from, and we're going to send it away so it's not even an option. And since it is technically a new category, we start all the way back to the letter A. And I know some people are thinking it because you're filthy human beings. Anal is not on this list. You disgrace me.
I appreciate honestly, I appreciate that. Like, it's cool, but whatever.
Is it though?
It's not mandatory by any means. Nor should
maybe I'm one of those weird guys. It's like I'm not fussed about it.
I don't even like taking a poo. Why would I want? No. I get it. I get why no bueno. I get why no bueno.
As if they don't. Anyway. The first 4 segments here. So afternoon tea is number 1. Oh, afternoon tea for a nice date activity. Option number 2.
That's a very UK thing. That's not a thing here. But number 2, please.
Visit an aquarium. Number 2. Option number 3. Going to an art gallery. Or number 4, get those quarters ready. Or maybe it's more expensive now, but you can go to an arcade. Yeah, no, we're not going to a peep show. That's later on down the alphabet.
Still the same word. Actually, ironically.
So, 4 options: afternoon tea, the aquarium, art gallery, or arcade. Kush Hayes, which one of these is a terrible idea that the fine folks of the Syrup Squad should avoid when they take their next loved one on a date?
This is your loved one, not a first-time date.
I just put date night ideas, but to be fair, if you've been on multiple dates, maybe not, but if this is your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, at this point you probably already know if they like any of these things. Yeah, so this, let's say this is first, second, or third day. The early days still.
Jeez, this is actually a very tough one, Mike Fish. You've presented us a complicated scenario here. This is all
love is complicated, Kush. Love is complicated.
Oh boy, are you correct? Boy, are you correct? If I don't, we're going to take culture out of the side of this. So in America, in the United States, sir, we don't have afternoon tea, but going out for a coffee is not unheard of. Like, it's same thing. It's the same thing. Like,
you telling me like the cities where there's like a bunch of hipsters, like Brooklyn, LA, that is not afternoon tea spots? I bet there are.
You know what? No. And the British folks that are here that have transplanted over, I bet they're not recognizing it either. Like,
why would British people come over to this country? Makes you sick.
I don't know, man. If I see one, I might
go back to where you come from, British
Wankers.
Person. Yeah,
wanker. Anyways, again, this is a complicated quadrilogy you've presented me, sir. So, I'm in my early mid 40s. That's as opposed to my late mid 40s or my mid 40s. Arcades probably not happening in this day and age. So we might come back to that here. Art gallery. We're going to go to a museum. We're going to go to the art gallery. Whatever. It's all the same. Yeah, that's a good way to just like get to know each other. Yeah, you're just walking around.
Don't you dare compare art galleries to museums, because once we get to the letter M, I probably need to use that one.
I mean, yeah. Dude, they're the same thing. Like, yes, depending on the subject, absolutely.
Hit me up at enjoywafflebox@gmail.com. Is an art gallery the same as a museum? I don't think it is.
The aquarium, I mean, you have to go to a specific spot for that. We have a Monterey Bay Aquarium, which is where Star Trek 4, bringing it back to First Contact Day, was filmed. And by the way, I've been there. It's the funnest thing was the Star Trek 4 exhibit. This was like 1987, FYI. But it's the aquarium. It's some dark passages, and you might sneak off and sneak a kiss from your young lady. And Mike Fish, I know you like sneaking kisses from the ladies that are your wife and only your wife and nothing else. And then we get back to afternoon tea, which is just coffee. So, you know what? For your sake, Mike Fish, I'm getting rid of the aquarium. You're imprisoning the Sea World.
Yeah. Fuck you, Sea World. I don't. That sound effect's gonna have best because it's like who's screaming? Who is screaming? The Mr. Aquarium.
It should be someone drowning in that one sound effect. Yes.
So yeah, aquariums, stay clear of them if you want to get laid. Anyway, speaking of one of those arcades, arcades. People love a video game, right? And one of the most famous video games in the whole wide world has its own movie about it. No, we're not talking about The Last of Us. No. We're not talking about Super Mario. Oh, no. No, we're talking about. Wait, come on, guys. Listen, think to yourself. What video game? What classic video game needs the big screen treatment?
Oh, there's no music playing. I'm just dancing for no reason.
There you go. You've got it. Yep, that's it. We need a movie about Tetris.
Kush's movie review.
Boom, Tetris the movie, which, as I can only imagine what this is. So, humans on Earth, there's a guy who's, it's a found footage movie for some reason. And then he's like running around and he's like trying to save, he's maybe like visiting his step brother, who's beaten as a child, and so his family adopted him, and now he's real life. But now he wants to find his real parents, and then just as he's about to find his real parents, he's squashed by a big L-shaped rock. Bam! And then another thing comes down, but it's kind of shaped like a sideways T, and then the whole street gets eliminated because they connected a line.
A sideways T.
Is this am I accurate? Is that what Tetris the movie is?
No, you're describing the Adam Sandler comedy Pixels. So that could have totally happened. So this movie has been in development for over 8 years. And I had to physically look that up because when I heard it was coming out, I was like, yeah, man, this was one of those pre-pandemic movies. I am not wrong, but hear me out. It got caught up with the pandemic. It was ready to go, and then they couldn't get into theaters and whatever. No. It actually took longer than that. Again, this movie was announced 8 years ago, and when people heard about it, they thought like something like the Super Mario Brothers movie or the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, where there's a narrative involved with it, where it's just the world of Tetris. No, this is a historical, I don't know if biopic is the right word for it, but we're trying to tell you the story of how, much like The Social Network, how Tetris was created. Where in that movie Facebook, how was that created? Okay, and because we have been subjected to so many Hollywood blockbusters, we automatically thought this was going to be some sort of stupid family action adventure PG-13 thing. No. This is actually an R-rated movie. It's based on a true story. They have taken some artistic liberties, but
well, like Justin Timberlake being in it for some reason to cause conflict between two friends.
You know what? If Timberlake was in this movie, it might have made it better. But it's still a good movie.
You're saying he's required to bring the sexy back?
Sometimes, but his shelf life is shrinking, everlasting, every day. This is an R-rated movie. I'm not sure why it's R-rated. There might have been an F-bomb in it, but couldn't tell you when. Like, there's no nudity. There's nothing sexual. There's very little drugs outside of what's nowadays smoking.
I was gonna say, what year is this saying? Are there people smoking cigarettes in the movie?
There are some people smoking cigarettes in it. The KGB,
there you go.
In fact, and also one of the guys from Nintendo smokes a cigarette. But also, he's like, "Oh my God, if this plane doesn't take off any minute, we might get arrested by the KGB. I need to smoke all the cigarettes right now." Like that's at the end. Spoiler alert. But this movie stars Taron Egerton, Nikita Ephraim. I butchered your name, sir. I apologize.
Oh, it's going to be
Toby
sending
Jones.
emails now.
We might get some emails about this. We might get some physical letters about it too if I butcher these names. It's
Telegram. There'll be a guy at my front door. Yeah, Mike Fish, stop.
Stefan. This is This is the story about how Tetris was discovered, how it was created,
How was
and how it
discovered? Like someone found it?
Someone found it. Yeah, man. Uh,
In
we're
its
on
natural
YouTube,
habitat.
so check out the other YouTube channel, Gaming Historian. And this guy has an essay, a video essay. It's a little over an hour long, but it goes into all the details of how Tetris became a thing. A a Russian programmer, and this is still during the Cold War. This is like 1985, 1986. Ronald Reagan is in office. Mikhail Gorbachev is the president. Um, it's a nasty time in history. Also, it's a strange time in history. But anyways, capitalism is taking over. Communism is becoming less of a thing. The Russians want to go. You know what? Maybe we should make some money for our country. That'd be a good thing. And this got one guy who just made a video game just for fun. He has nothing to gain for it. He's not thinking about royalties. He's not thinking about distribution. He just made this game, and everybody loved it. And when I say everybody, like it spread out. So it went from just his core four to their friends, to their friends, to their friends, to their co-workers. Like secretaries and accountants were playing this game in Russia. And then eventually, through Toby Jones' character, it eventually got worldwide status where, while they didn't have a contract for it, they were selling it. And more people got exposed to it that way. Like the story of Tetris is fascinating, man. If you don't want to see this movie, if you don't have Apple TV Plus, go check out the Gaming Historians YouTube channel. It's an amazing story, honestly. This story, though, for Apple TV Plus's movie is also great. It's 1 hour 58 minutes, so I love that.
Less than 2 hours, baby.
They take some artistic liberties with it, but I get it. Like Mike Fish, we're going to talk about this in a second, but there's a car chase at the very end of the movie that never happened. I promise you, that never happened. But it's exciting for this movie. People have been written out, and that happens in biopics all the time. Like we meet Alexei Sturganov. I want to say that's his name. The movie presents him as the only creator of Tetris, but he had a partner. That guy is nowhere in the movie. So we're dealing with stuff like that. Having said that, the movie, for what it is, it's absolutely entertaining. I had a great time watching it. I've seen it twice now. I got an Apple subscription for the new Ted Lasso series, but I also was like,
that shit's good.
Can't wait to see the new Tetris movie. So, I would absolutely recommend you guys spend $7 on 1 month of Apple TV Plus and watch Tetris the movie. 4 stars out of 5.
4 out of 5.
Yeah, 4 out of 5. Entertaining time. They're again, artistic liberties. So, Taron Egerton's character.
Because the guy who played Elton John's in this, right?
I'm sorry?
The guy who played Elton John in that biopics in this, is it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, he's also in The Kingsman. It's the same company that produced that movie. There's this weird thing where, like, he's a dude from the Netherlands. He's Dutch, but he's traveled all over the world. He's a very smart guy.
Fathering 550 kids.
Not fathering 550 kids.
No, different guy? Okay.
However, since you brought that up, he met a woman in Hawaii who was Japanese. He fell in love with her. They moved back to Japan. He doesn't speak Japanese, but he's learning through her. However, sometimes he has one daughter. Sometimes he has 4 kids. Most of the time, he just has the one daughter. But, like, there are many times where we get into this whole thing where, like, you missed your daughter's play. And it's like, 1, woman, I was in Russia. 2, why is only the one daughter here? Where are the other 3 children? Because he makes a big point of that. Like, he's talking with the creator of Tetris. Like, this is my oldest daughter. This is my youngest daughter. These are my 2 boys. This is my wife. Like they go into a whole thing about it, and there's several times in the movie you're like, you missed your daughter's recital. And it's like, ma'am, he was in Russia, and also you have 3 other kids. Where are they? Because only the little girl
they
is
don't
front
sing.
and center.
Fuck them.
I guess they weren't union or whatever the case is, but there are several times where we are focused only on this oldest daughter and none of the other kids, and it's quite hilarious at times. But
Budget cuts.
I loved the Tetris
Not casting
movie.
3 other kids. Fuck that.
I mean, it's maybe they're not available that day. It happens, and I don't know what Japanese rules are, but anyways, Tetris 4 out of 5. I enjoyed it. It's a fascinating story. Go check out the Gaming Historia YouTube video. Great movie. Not going to win any Oscars though.
Spoiler alert.
Mike, I heard you watch this movie. What did you think?
I didn't. I was going to, but I didn't.
Oh,
I was going to, and then I was like, and then life happened, and then I forgot. But I will check it out.
Okay.
But the Gaming Historian documentary is very good, and because I remember I watched that when you sent it to me.
Okay.
So I will, if I remember, I will link that in the description for the YouTube. So if you want to click on that, watch it after this. Highly recommended.
That dude has a lot of great fucking content on his channel.
He does. I know. I haven't. That's the only one I've watched, but I saw, where it says like suggested videos. I'm like, I kind of want to check that one out next. So yes, I'll be probably binging his YouTube channel later. But as we come closer to the end of the show, the sun is slowly setting. It's almost time for bed. It's now time for this week's feel-good story of the week.
That's the coolest fucking story I've ever heard in my entire life. That's insane. Can I hear it again?
Yes. This week's feel-good story takes us to my homeland, oh, Great Britain. And is that the right from? I forgot it. Anyway, so this young British boy who slept in a tent in his family's backyard for 3 years just to raise some money for charities, finally heading back inside after raising more than $860,000 for a hospice and breaking a Guinness World Record. Max Woosley was 10 years old when he started his, quote, boy in a tent project in the yard of his family's Devon, England home. Devon's a very nice area. On March 28th, 2020, and he spent his last night outdoors last Tuesday, exactly 3 years later. And then you're kind of like, why? I mean, it's great that you raise so much money for charity, but why would you ever do that? So Woosley started the project as a fundraiser for North Devon Hospice, the facility that cared for his neighbor, Rick Abbott, who sadly died of cancer in 2020. The young boy said, I quote, "Before my neighbor died of cancer, he gave me a tent and told me to, quote, have an adventure." So Woosley's nights in a tent were chronicled on social media, raised more than $860,000 in earning the world record for most money raised by an individual camping. Very specific, but beautiful stuff. Woosley's social media fame during his project led to him being allowed to pitch his tent. That's what the article says. He pitched his tent to spend nights in locations including the London Zoo, the garden at number 10 Downing Street, which is Britain's White House, and Twickenham Rugby Grounds, which is where the rugby team plays. Quote, "I have had the best 3 years of my life. I have met some amazing people and had brilliant experiences. I don't think I would change anything, he said. I only set out to have an adventure and raise £100. It's crazy that I got so much attention, but I hope it makes people see that children are capable of a lot more than people think. Shout outs to Max Woosley.
I mean, I appreciate it was for a good cause, and he raised a lot of money. But is anyone else questioning why his parents let this kid sleep outside for 3 fucking years?
No.
I mean, I'd like to think that they, there was some cameras on him or something. I don't know. I don't think
they were just letting him do his thing, and what happens. Well, he's not going to get a better day.
I'm assuming when he was camping at London Zoo, maybe someone's keeping an eye on him. No, you know that for a fact. You know that, Kush Hayes. Boom, facts.
Just the facts, ma'am.
But yeah, shout out to Max Woosley. 10 years old when he started, so obviously, 3 years later. So I'm going to assume he's about 13 now, and he's already raised over $860,000 for the North Devon Hospice.
That's what's up.
Shout out to you. I am almost 3 times his age, and I have raised nowhere near that amount for charity.
No monies.
No, well, no, I've raised some money for charity in my days, but nowhere near that. Nowhere near that. I once raised like £2,000 after I rode.
Oh.
I did a marathon on my bike.
Okay.
And I am not the fittest person in the world.
No, you're not. But
no,
that makes it more amazing.
And the bike that I had was not prepared for 20. What's the marathon again? 27.4 miles or some weird random shit like that.
26 point something. Miles or kilometers or whatever.
My ass hurt after that. Let's just say that. Because I should have got a cushion rather than a brick for a seat. But anyway, shout out to him. Okie dokie. But that does reach the end, the climax of episode 92 of Waffle Box. Of course, make sure you follow us on all our social medias at Waffle Box Pod. If you are watching the YouTube version, hit a thumbs up and hit the whatever, because it helps the algorithm and helps more people see this. But in the meantime, there are more podcasts that you can consume. Obviously, make sure you check out the bonus episode, WrestleMania 39 review that we released. Kush, you do podcasts on the Bosnet.family network. What content of the good people of the Syrup Squad got to look forward to this week?
Well, you're correct about that, Mike Fish. And we got Drew Angelman, the funniest man in the room, CEO of Angel Cake Entertainment, coming back to talk about the second quarter of 2023's movie lineup. And we have a good time with that. It's going to be just under an hour, and you will love it.
Ooh, check that out. Go to Bosnet.family. And of course, while you're there, you still have all the archives of Waffle Box on there as well. But in the meantime, it's good night from me. It's good night from Kush. Say good night, Lathan.
Good night, Lathan.
Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other.
That's all, folks.